I'm often asked by people if they are in fact the narcissist in their situations. So in this video, I want to talk about why a lot of victims do feel as if they are highly narcissistic, and I want to go over some signs of narcissism. In the devaluing stage of narcissistic abuse, that's when things like this begin to pop up. The narcissist will start to tell you you're toxic, perhaps even you're narcissistic, and that you are the source of any and all issues in the relationship. So what I want to do is debunk a lot of this right here, right now. Narcissists love to tell you things like you run hot and cold. Hot and cold is an extremely passive-aggressive game-playing technique. The good old back and forth. One day things are amazing and the next day things are awful. The truth is, you may very well be running hot and cold. Why wouldn't you be? This person is exercising what's called positive intermittent reinforcement. It can also be called punishment and reward. It's actually what builds the trauma bond, the back and the forth, the hot and the cold. The narcissist needs something or they want something, so they're nice to you. They love bomb you. They tell you what you want to hear. Naturally, this is what you've been waiting for. You're getting a hit of that dopamine. Things are so good. But then after they get what they want, you go right back into devaluing and you're treated like garbage. They go hot and cold, back and forth. So when you're abused, yelled at, screamed at, told that you suck, and so on and so forth after you've been love bombed, it's also going to cause you to be nice and then not so nice. You will start to run hot and cold. And so as a result, the narc likes to tell you that you are the problem when this is all stemming from their behavior. You are reacting to how they're treating you. Narcissists also love to tell you that you have anger issues and rage issues. So now we have to talk about something called reactive abuse. Reactive abuse is just that, a response to being abused. In some moments, you might lash out, yell, scream, cry, throw things. You might get physically violent, start getting insulting towards somebody, become passive aggressive. You can become incredibly abusive inside an abusive relationship. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that this behavior is okay because you're getting abused. It isn't. Flat out. Reactive abuse is abuse. If you know you're doing this, it's time to leave the situation that you're in, and don't feel like it's something to take personally. I was reactively abusive. Most of us are. Most of us get backed into a corner, and even if we don't lash out and yell and scream and do all that stuff, then we recoil and we, give silent treatments and we're passive aggressive. We're doing something that's reactively abusive. It's just a very normal automatic response when you're being treated like garbage. So again, it isn't correct. However, this doesn't make you a narcissist. This is an outpouring of emotion. You're backed into a corner. You're fed up and you can't take it anymore. Narcissists expect us to be the dog they can back into a corner and starve and beat and tease. And then they get mad when the dog tries to bite or does bite and bites very well. Then all of a sudden they're angry, they're upset. You have the problem. How could you do this? When it's a response to what they've done to you. This is exactly what they want, because once you act out of line, they never let you live it down in true narcissistic fashion. Now they're going to let you know you're toxic. Look how you're acting. You're insane. You're narcissistic. Also, even again, if you don't yell and scream and rage, if you go silent, if you go no contact, if you give them some of their own medicine and give them a silent treatment, a narcissist will jump on this too and tell you that you need to look at yourself and how you're behaving. Silence can be juvenile and adult all at the same time, depending on the situation. Silent treatments are a wonderful example of immature silence. If you ever do this in a relationship with a narcissist, they will be all over you about it. You won't talk to them. You don't want to work on things. You don't want to make things okay. Those are the kind of things that will get tossed at you. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to fix this. See, you cause all these problems and then you're quiet and you go away. So this is where I want to discuss the difference, the very important difference between a silent treatment and going no contact, because this is crucial. I hear this a lot, so let's debunk this too. Well, no contact is mean. It's basically just a silent treatment, and that's something that's narcissistic, so I don't want to do that. A silent treatment is petty as shit. It's done as punishment. I'm mad at you, so now I ain't talking. It solves nothing, and it pisses everybody off. No contact, yes, it's silence. but no contact needs to be done and should be done forever. No contact is forever. You are forever silent. Never try to punish a narcissist. Never try to punish somebody toxic. It doesn't work. These are people who can't afford to care. A lot of them have the full-blown disorder. They don't give a shit. They're just going to move on to the next person. All of them do. Never try to punish somebody like this. No contact needs to be done for you. You need to exit toxic situations. You need to escape abusive people who use you for all you have, and you are nothing more than a list of goods and services. They don't love you. They don't care about you. They don't worry about whether or not you're okay. They never even bother to check in with you. They don't do anything for you. This is a toxic situation that you need to get out of. You give everything you can, and this person gives nothing back. It's time to go, no contact. I can't stress this enough. A silent treatment is petty. Person will be gone for a little while, but they will come back around when they feel as if you've learned your lesson. No contact is permanent and needs to be done for self-preservation, not for punishment. Don't try to punish somebody like this. Promise you, I've tried. It doesn't work. No contact is what a person does for themselves. Again, there's no malice. There's no need to punish. It's for you. You need to heal and move on. But now here's where I want to get back to the whole point here. No contact doesn't make you a narcissist. It makes you wise enough to know when you're done with somebody. Silence, whether it's done aggressively or not, sends one hell of a powerful message. Silence says, I can't be bothered. You don't meet my standards. You don't get to use me anymore. You thought you had me wrapped around your little finger, and guess what? You don't. I don't need you anymore. I never did. My life is moving forward. You deliver all of that and more by permanently going no contact for good. Plus, toxic people get super pissed when you don't talk to them. So, like I've been saying for a couple of years now, 2 birds, 1 delicious stone. If you would like to talk one-on-one about a narcissistic relationship that you're in right now, or maybe you're still working on getting over a relationship like this, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com to set up private chats and coaching with me if you feel you need it. The actions we take in abusive relationships are directly based on the actions of our abusers. I want to reiterate that. It does not make the behavior okay, but it is your response, your reaction to the abuse and turmoil that this person is putting you through. I have been in situations where I've told myself, I hate who this person turns me into. I feel gross. I feel angry. I feel devastated and sad all the time. I don't know if they really care about me. I don't feel like they really love me. When you're telling yourself these things and having these thoughts, it is time to go. You are being abused. At the very least, you're not being treated fairly. You don't know what the situation is. If you don't know what the situation is when you're in a romantic situation, that's pretty much all you have, and it's time to go on ahead and let that go, end your abuse. Narcs love to place the blame on you and tell you that you are in fact the problem. Funny how they tell you things like that, yet they'll hang around as long as you continue to put up with them. You're so terrible, but they hoover you weeks later trying to get you to talk to them. But you suck, right? They can do so much better than you. You're awful, etc. I digress. What I want to talk about now over reactive abuse and how we behave in response to somebody else abusing us, what I want to talk about are real signs of narcissism. Not necessarily that this person has the full-blown disorder. There is a difference between narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. There are regular levels of narcissism, which we all have, and then there's that full-blown disorder. So let's go over some of those disordery kind of signs. The number one sign of toxicity, the number one sign that somebody could potentially have narcissistic personality disorder will forever and always be a clear lack of empathy and sympathy from this person. Now, you're not going to see that in love bombing. They might actually pretend to take very good care of you or be really attentive and empathetic in love bombing, depending on how you're love bombed, of course. But it will be very clear in your devaluing stage, this person does not care about how you feel, what you think. They don't want to know how your day was. They want none of your stories, thoughts, opinions, ideas. They want to hear nothing about you. They do not care. There's no empathy. There's no sympathy. Sometimes when dealing with toxic people in my dating career, I've had to actually ask people, so are you going to ask me about my day at some point, or do you literally just absolutely not give a shit? Is this all about you again? Pay attention to super simple things, like if someone doesn't even ask you how your day was, or do they ask you and you go to elaborate and you're very quickly pushed off to the side. The subject very quickly becomes about them. Does someone actually ever even show you genuine concern? Things like that. So look for that lack of empathy. It's not necessarily just a sign of narcissism, but selfishness, rudeness, toxicity at its finest. Nobody that you want to deal with. Another sign of that narcissistic personality disorder is that sense of entitlement. Narcissists feel like everybody owes them something. They deserve the best treatment, special treatment. They're superior. I'll get to a little bit more of that here in a second, but they deserve to be taken care of. They deserve to have an amazing place to live and an amazing job, and all that stuff needs to just fall in their lap because they are who they are and they need to have everything. Basically, what this boils down to is you are dealing with an absolute spoiled brat. And you will spot this a lot easier once you kind of get to know this person a little better. Also, key insight, if you know their family. Real brats are handled with kid gloves by people in their family, especially their parents. You can tell when somebody has grown up and they can't do anything wrong. The parents always have their back. They could kill 20 people and the parents would somehow blow it off and make it okay and try to get them to, have an escape plan to do whatever. They can't do anything wrong. It's called golden child syndrome, and it produces a fuck ton of narcissists. So if you can get a hold of the parents or pay attention to how the parents treat this person, you can sometimes get a little insight to, are they an absolute spoiled brat? Also, how they behave with their siblings, things like that. So a sense of entitlement, everybody owes them something, especially mommy and daddy or whoever took care of them. You've got a real brat on your hands, not necessarily a narcissist, per se. We can't diagnose these people. They have to go and be seen by professionals, but ew. Who wants a brat? I don't want that. I don't want a spoiled brat. I don't want someone I got to take care of. Got to get rid of that shit. So now let's talk about the grandiose personality. This is going to look different in the overt narcissist as compared to the covert narcissist. An overt narcissist is more vocal about their extremely delusional behavior. This is somebody who thinks they're famous. They're going to be famous. They know famous people. They talk a lot about money, power, wealth, respect. A lot of times with overt narcissists, they talk about wanting to be feared. They want a lot of respect and they want people to really fear them. More to that, they deserve this. They deserve to be feared and, respected and all that kind of stuff. The covert, this is a little bit harder to spot because they're not just so gross and open about it. The covert narcissist is always going to be the victim. Everybody hurts them. Everyone deserts them. Everybody turns their back on the covert narcissist. They don't have any real friends. All their exes are trash. Everybody ends up treating them badly. They give so much to everybody and never get anything. Boo hoo hoo. You ain't never heard a life so sad and pathetic as a covert narcissist. It's like someone's just waiting around every corner to screw these sad little underdogs over. Sad as shit. However, they do have grandiose thoughts. Coverts are very cerebral. They're doing the plotting and the scheming up in their brain. So they have more quiet ideas about how they're the smarter person. They're the smartest person in the room. They're the better person. They deserve the promotion. They're a genius. They're this, they're that. So I deserve the promotion. For example, I'm obviously smarter. I deserve to run this company. I deserve to have all this money. And again, it's more quiet. It's more subdued. But don't ever think that just because a covert narc plays the underdog, that they don't have delusions of grandeur. They most certainly do. These kinds of thoughts and behaviors can't always be seen because the covert does, again, spend a lot of time convincing us the world is just shitting on them. Nonetheless, they do have that grandiosity about them. So keep these signs present in your mind: that lack of empathy and subsequent lack of sympathy, the sense of entitlement, and the super gross, grandiose behavior. Remember, narcissism runs on a spectrum. Not everybody does have the full-blown disorder. And also, let's just say what it is. Some people in this world are just selfish, manipulative, spoiled little brats that are not only out for themselves, but they will just step right on the back of your neck to climb up that ladder of life. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the full-blown disorder. Some people are just mean and nasty and cruel and bullies and only out for themselves. I mean, there's all something going on in there, not necessarily narcissism. But let's just stay away from all of these people altogether. Share your thoughts on reactive abuse and the main signs of narcissism down in the comments. Thank you so much for listening today. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.